Okay, for the first two problems, we're going to translate them into expressions. And this says x squared. So that means it's going to be x with an exponent of 2. This says decreased by, so that means subtraction 11. So you should have x squared minus 11. Number 2 says 12 less than. Remember from our warm-ups that if you have a number and it says less than, that means you're going to be subtracting that number from something else. Quotient means division. Y and 3. So I'm going to divide y and 3. And remember, I'm not using that baby division symbol anymore. So I'm using a fraction. So the quotient of y and 3 is y divided by 3. And then 12 less than means I'm going to subtract 12 from it. Number 3, I've got division that I need to do before I do that subtraction. So 12 divided by 4 is 3. 30, take away 3, is 27. Number 4, I have an exponent that I need to deal with first. So 2 to the third power means 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. I'm going to bring all my other stuff down. Now I've got division that I need to do first, because remember, when I've got multiplying and dividing, I work my way from left to right. So I'm going to do 24 divided by 6, which is 4. Then 8 times 4, which is 32. 4 plus 32 is 36. Number 5, I need to substitute these values in first. So instead of A times B, I'm going to do, 8 times B. I'm going to do 8 times 6. And then I'm going to subtract 4, because I'm putting in 4 for A. So 8 times 6 is 48. Take away 4 means I have 44. Number 6 is a little more complicated than that. So instead of 2 times x, I'm going to do 2 times negative 3, because I'm putting negative 3 in for x, plus, instead of y squared, I'm going to do 4 squared, take away 3, because I put in 4 for y. So inside of my parentheses, I have an exponent that I need to do first. 4 times 4 is 16. Remember, I like to bring everything down in between steps. So then I've got 16 minus 3, which is 13. And then 2 times negative 3, which is negative 6, plus 13, finally gives me 7. For number 7, I have distributive property that I need to do. So I'm going to distribute that 3. 3 times 2x is 6x, and then 3 times 5 is 15. For number 8, pay attention to the fact that you've got negatives. Negative 4 times 10 is negative 40x. Negative 4 times negative 7 is going to give me plus 28. Number 9, I've got 7 times 3m, which is going to be 21m. And then 7 times 8, which is 56. And then I've got subtraction that I need to do right here, because I can combine those numbers. So I've got 21m plus 32. For number 10, I've got subtraction that I need to do first. So 5 times 4y is 20y. And then 5 times, remember that's a negative 2, is minus 10. Then I'm going to do 2 times y and get plus 2y. And 2 times 8, which is 16. And those are all positives. Then I've got 20y plus 2y, which is 22y. Then I've got negative 10 plus 16, which is plus 6. Number 11, ask for the amount of water used during a shower. What would be the most appropriate unit? So that's going to be gallons. We certainly don't want to measure the amount of water we use in a shower with ounces. Man, that would be a lot of ounces. And cups would still be too small. The amount of water used during a shower doesn't have to be, perfectly exact, so gallons are sufficient. And then the amount a plant grows in a day, a plant will grow in, well, most plants. I know, bamboo can grow more than this, but that's pretty much the exception. Most plants are going to grow a millimeter at the most in a day. So that is the most appropriate. Okay, number 13, it says Algebra 1 students took a 10-question quiz. The number of questions that they got correctly are shown below, and that gives us the grading scale right here. So let's figure out the percentages first. So if a kid got 6 questions right, 6 out of 10, that is 60%. 60% is a D, so I'm going to put that right there. If a kid got 7 out of 10 correct, that is a 70%, which is a C. Tells me right there in the question. 10 is obviously an A because that's 100%. 8 is 80%, which is a B. 4 is 40%, which is less than 59, so that is an F. 9 is 90%, which falls into the A category. There's another A. And then finally, we've already established that a 7 is 70%, which is a C. So our number of A's, we've got 3. Our number of B's, we have 1. Our number of C's, we have 2. D's, we have 1. And F's, we have 1. Last but not least, it's asking for Micah's debt to income ratio. Remember, that's going to be a fraction, and because the word debt comes first, debt is going to be on the top, income is going to be on the bottom of the ratio. So his debt are all of these expenses right here. So that is $1,500 if I add them together. And his income is $3,000, which is given to us in the problem. So the first part is $1,500 over $3,000. As a decimal, if I do 1,500 divided by 3,000, I'll get 0.5. Or I might have just noticed that 1,500 is half of 3,000, which also leads me to know that it's a 0.5. Does Micah qualify for the loan? It says in order to qualify, his debt must be below 0.30. So we're going to say no, he does not qualify. BC for because 0.5 is greater than 0.30. What can Micah do to improve his ratio? He's got all kinds of stuff he could do. He could get a better paying job to make his income go up. He could maybe sell his car so that he doesn't have a car payment anymore. There's anything along the lines of reducing his expenses and making his income bigger, I would accept for a correct answer.